pain of yesterday.
Oh, baby. Let's go. Okay. Now we're on to the J6 hoax. And this one's a doozy. We just talked all about this. It was a whole bunch of evil Nazi shit going on here. People were there peacefully protesting, falsely accused. We're going to go over a lot of this. It's like, oh, I could go hours and hours just on this one. Okay, I'll go as quick as I can. We're going to get through some of this. The news media keeps pumping this bullshit out. They keep zeroing in on all these. First of all, they said 7 police officers were killed. That was a lie, and it just over and 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 over kept lying and lying and lying, and they still lie about that shit. No police officers were killed. Okay. That's number one. Number two, the police first did all kinds of crazy shit attacking the protesters. Imagine if they did that with Antifa or Black Lives Matter. They just let that shit. People just got away with so much shit, wrecking just billions of dollars of damage, shooting at cops and all kinds of crazy shit. And then we've got peaceful protesting after the election was rigged. We just covered that. The election was rigged as hell. We just barely touched on it for 45 minutes. Okay. Again, we could go 24 hours straight going over how the election was rigged. We're going to be going over how shady the media is and covering this. They're just absolute evil liars, and they know it. They know it. The media is owned by the freaking Marxist globalists. We're going to be talking a lot about that. Did that today. This is our 3rd video of the day, baby. Let's go. Okay. So basically what the left wants, they're looking for vulnerable people who will lay down and let them walk all over you and steal everything from you. They want it all. No mercy. And it's a psyop. And so if we don't stand up to it, our country's gone. And I thought we were donezo because they own the information systems. Yep. J6 was a sham. That's exactly right. Pipe bombs and all. That's right. We're about to see it. We're about to see all this. And then on top of that, the way the prosecutions went down, all of it, we're going to expose it right here, right now. Let's just get into it here.
Outnumbered group of law enforcement.
You know how all those cops went up in front of the American people a few days ago for the January 6th commission talking about how traumatized they were? Remember this guy?
Because I was among the vastly outnumbered group of law enforcement officers protecting the Capitol and the people inside it. I was grabbed, beaten, tased, all while being called a traitor to my country.
Yeah, that guy. Well, that guy was actually not in uniform, and he was not there as a Capitol Police officer. He was there as an FBI plant.
The dude was there, carrying a Confederate flag. You can't make this shit up. It's him, and he thought he was going to get away with it.
Once again, unraveling of the narrative, because the narrative wasn't strong because it wasn't true. So we can try again. Try again. But guess what, guys? Release the FBI files, and you will see who's really guilty.
Yep.
It's him, and he thought he was going to get away with it. Flag. You can't make this shit up. Flag.
That's him.
You can't make this shit up. It's him, and he thought he was going to get away with it.
Once again,
that's called false testimony. That's perjury right there, which, by the way, we're going to be hitting on this with Anthony Fauci. All these guys were pre-fucking pardoned by Biden. Unbelievable. You know, for years, It never ends, the fake news. First, Russia hoax. It was a hoax. Impeach. He lied and cheated on his taxes. Oh, nope. He puts out his tax return. Perfect. Paid tons of taxes, millions of dollars. Every time. Then, but they just totally disregard it. They just totally disregard. Oh, okay. I was just promoting a hoax for a year. Let's just go on to the next hoax that we can promote. Impeach. Interfere with everything. We paid our government to do nothing but attack our president. They got nothing done except they just falsely accused and attacked Trump left, right, and center. Okay. And then, where was I going with that? I was going leading up to, man, I just totally lost my train of thought. Rabbit Trail Central. I was leading into all the accusations, constantly accusing him falsely. I'll remember. I'll come back to it. Okay. So that was someone giving false testimony. Okay. What I was leading to was, how Biden pardoned all these people. Okay. One of the, just on to the next false narrative, since everything we've talked about. Oh, there's Levi, my man. So everything they talked about is just always false all the time, false accusations all the time. Levi, you should go back and watch. This is my third video, baby. Okay. And I think I'm going to do a fourth tonight. All the time, falsely accusing. Then the next thing was, and we're going to reveal this too tomorrow, probably, or the next day, on the shit they were pulling was saying that Trump was going to pre-pardon his family. And they just railed on him for months and months and months. And then, of course, he didn't pardon himself or his family, so it was another false thing. And then they aggrandize about Joe Biden not doing that. And then, of course, Joe Biden pardoned everybody. Yeah, set the green screen closer. Yes, that's right. Okay, so I love you, Levi. Okay, so endless bullshit here. Next.
1 year ago today, I was released from federal prison. As a political prisoner of the Biden regime, I spent 60 days in a federal prison for trespassing outside of the Capitol on January 6th. The judge in my case, during my sentencing, he said that even though I didn't go inside the Capitol and I didn't hurt anyone, that I ran for public office. I was the front runner in the Michigan GOP gubernatorial race in 2022 when I was arrested. The judge said that I misled my supporters, said that I lied about the 2020 election because I said it was stolen, said that I lied about January 6th because I said it wasn't an insurrection. We all know what the truth is, but I spent 60 days in a federal prison for those things, and it makes me a stronger person. And now that Donald Trump has pardoned all of the J6ers, it's an amazing feeling to know that our country is headed back in the right direction.
Okay. And the truth is going to keep coming out. There is so much coming out. All right. So Vivek says the J6 police assault on protesters was entrapment. Okay. So watch the footage. We're going to watch this. Is there volume? I guess.
I have given warnings about chemical munitions. I need the less than lethal team positioned above me to start deploying. Launch.
Okay. Nobody's attacking.
You're on the wrong side of history! Hey, walk up to the front of the fucking line. Come here. Show these cops what they just did to you.
There's a lot more of this. Tons of footage on that.
Let's go! Fucking shoot it! Go! Shoot! Shoot!
We're up here. We're trying to get through the gate. Yep, they're deploying.
So who attacked who here?
on us.
They're shooting.
Okay, so do we see anywhere here people attacking police officers? No, they were standing there getting shot at. Straight up.
Into their own people. We're supposed to be supporting Blue Lives Matter. We represent Blue Lives, and this is what they do to us.
Stingball deployed! Stingball deployed! Stingball deployed!
What's your ETA for I Street?
No, what's that? Stingball! Stingball!
I guess it's okay to do this
23 up here. You're 43.
as long as if the protesters are white, it's okay to fucking assault them like this.
On the north side of I Street. Very large crowd coming down I Street. 51, I need you here, please. One more Stingball. What the fuck?
What do you got now? CS. Yes, got CS. That's it. Keep going.
As one who was here and who has custody of these 44,000 hours of videos, I can attest there were acts of violence. There were acts of terrible violence that day. Even from what I had seen with my own eyes and through the media, I've seen acts of violence against police officers that I had not seen before. And it was brutal and it was ugly. And our officers on the line did what they needed to do at the time.
So you just hear that fucking testimony, false testimony in Congress. Guess what? Biden pardoned them. Nothing to see here, right?
Chucking grenades at us.
They're like, what the fuck? They're chucking grenades at us.
Never thrown the concussion grenades, if they'd never used a pepper spray, this wouldn't have happened. It was a peaceful protest. I was standing within 15 feet of the line of officers. They started firing at us before anybody did anything to them. We were not rushing them. There was no advance on them. They just started throwing concussion grenades and pepper spray.
I mean, they're Trump supporters. Hello. I mean, they're like Nazis. They Heil Hitler. I mean, just look at Elon Musk. He's literally out there doing the Heil Hitler. I mean, of course they should have just fucking thrown grenade bombs at them. That's literally how the fucking left logic. They have been wired and engineered to think like that. That's literally how they fucking think. And it's because the media and the bullshit, this is by design.
They've been tear gassing us.
I can't breathe. 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 I can't breathe.
Yeah, Levi, I just did a whole video on how the last election was rigged. It was absolutely, unequivocally, with fact, factually proven. I could go on for 24 hours straight about it. Rigged election without question. Without question. It was a rigged election. I didn't do a 24-hour video. I did a 45-minute video. You can watch that. Watch it at 2x speed. Okay. And shout out to Kong for throwing together some thumbnails for me, just throwing them at me. I love it. Love you, Kong. Love you, Levi. Okay. There's a lot more.
I have given warnings about chemical munitions. I need the less than lethal team position above me to start deploying. Launch, launch.
Oh, okay. Is this the same one? Rubber bullet through the cheek. Yeah, this is the same video. Okay. Maybe there's something different on the audio. Okay. Yeah.
Evidence that it is in, let's start with January 6th.
Sure.
There is no evidence that it is an inside job. It was a fringe conspiracy theory.
And if you had asked me 3 years ago, is there some chance January 6th is an inside job? I would have said that was crazy talk.
There's more people watching on Twitter, Levi. YouTube has been taking down my videos.
Say, looking at the facts of the video footage that have come out, Dana, it is shocking that you still haven't gotten a clear answer of how many federal agents were in the field that day. Look at now the video footage of actually throwing explosives and rubber bullets into what was a peaceful crowd, then releasing to the public what came in response to that. But now look at the video footage that was released. And I'm glad we're talking about it because viewers deserve to look at that footage. Capitol Police literally letting people in who were then now prosecuted. Some of them have gone on to commit suicide because of what the government's doing. That is a case of entrapment. And I think the government has not been transparent about this. There's entrapment going on, and this looks like a case of entrapment. And if you look at even over the last
What do you mean by entrapment?
Entrapment means that the police goaded people to do something otherwise than they otherwise wouldn't have done, and then they arrest them for actually doing it. I was in a different place before a lot of that evidence came out, but you have to respond to the evidence. What is your response, or what is anybody else on CNN's response to the video footage that was released of Capitol Police literally just peacefully allowing people into the Capitol?
What we know
or
is
shooting
that
into peaceful crowds.
850 people have been convicted of crimes.
But the reality is many of them were convicted before that information was released.
If they'd never thrown the concussion grenades, if they'd never used the pepper spray, this wouldn't have happened. It was a peaceful protest.
Okay. I'm texting Matt, Levi. Okay. All right. So we keep seeing, so the way the media, they always want to sound factual and accurate. According to data, bullshit data, they do it with everything, and it's literally a psyop. According to the World Health Organization and the data and the research that the COVID vaccines, you know, there's no, in other words, they literally just lie. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow. Yeah, I know. So YouTube censoring, I talked about censoring speech earlier and how evil it is. If we didn't have Elon Musk buying X, we would be utterly fucked as a country. Seriously. Oh, there's Tish, baby. I was trying to text you, Tish. Yeah, so yeah, YouTube has been taking down my videos. So, all right. But I've kind of said I just don't even give a fuck. If one person watches, 10 people watch, 1 million people watch. You guys should go watch my past videos. Freaking love you guys. Tish, right here, Matt Tisher just got back. These are my two best friends here locally. Got Matt Tisher and Levi, baby. And Tish just got back from Poland. He's in the military and he's a police officer. I freaking love you guys. Let's fucking go. All right, we're exposing Tish, the J6 hoax. It was an absolute fucking hoax. We've just seen it. Have we seen, I mean, clear evidence of how it went down. We had police officers bombing the shit, beating the shit, and shooting the shit out of peaceful protesters. Now, what's coming here pretty soon?
Let's start with January 6th.
Sure.
There is no evidence that
Is okay. Let's watch this. This was a fucking paid motherfucker breaking the window.
They're familiar because they've been playing on a loop. These are the pictures you've seen of January 6th. They're familiar because they've been playing on a loop on every media outlet in America for the last 2 years. There's a reason for that. But it turns out there's quite a bit of video you haven't seen. And that video tells a very different story about what happened on January 6th. More than 40,000 hours of surveillance footage from in and around the Capitol have been withheld from the public. And once you see the video, you'll understand why. Taken as a whole, the video record does not support the claim that January 6th was an insurrection. In fact, it demolishes that claim. And that's exactly why the Democratic Party and its allies in the media prevented you from seeing it. By controlling the images you were allowed to view from January 6th, they controlled how the public understood that day. They could lie about what happened, and you would never know the difference. Those lies had a purpose. They created a pretext for a federal crackdown on opponents of the Uniparty in Washington.
Our office wanted to ensure that there was shock and awe, that we could charge as many people as possible.
The first thing you notice from viewing the full video record of January 6th is just how many.
Did you hear that testimony? That guy, we're going to hit that on another video. I know. He literally just said, we wanted shock and awe. We wanted to charge as many people as possible. It's called weaponizing the fucking government against the people.
People entered the Capitol building that day. Hundreds and hundreds of people, possibly thousands, over the course of about 2 hours. The crowd was enormous. A small percentage of them were hooligans. They committed vandalism. You've seen their pictures again and again. But the overwhelming majority weren't. They were peaceful. They were orderly and meek. These were not insurrectionists. They were sightseers. Footage from inside the Capitol overturns the story you've heard about January 6th. Protesters queue up in neat little lines. They give each other tours outside the speaker's office. They take cheerful selfies and they smile. They're not destroying the Capitol. They obviously revere the Capitol. They're there because they believe the election was stolen from them. They believe in the system. Here's the man you've heard referred to as the QAnon shaman outside the Senate chamber. These are not rioters. These are people who wandered over from a political rally.
We will not let them silence your voices.
After the rally, they walked down Pennsylvania Avenue, where organizers had secured a federal permit to hold a legal rally on the grounds of the Capitol.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building. to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Once at the Capitol building, things began to get chaotic. Capitol police officers fired tear gas into the crowd. A few at the front of the herd broke windows. Someone opened the doors, and many hundreds of others just walked in.
They're going to make that the story.
Of course, they did make it the story. And at the center of it, the single most famous person arrested that day was a Navy veteran from Arizona called Jacob Chansley, often referred to as the QAnon shaman.
The so-called QAnon shaman. QAnon shaman.
Someone named Q Shaman.
Jacob Chansley became the face of January 6th, a dangerous conspiracy theorist dressed in outlandish costume who led the violent insurrection to overthrow American democracy. For these crimes, Chansley was sentenced to nearly 4 years in prison, far more time than many violent criminals now receive. What did Jacob Chansley do to receive this punishment? To this day, there is dispute over how Chansley got into the Capitol building. But according to our review of the internal surveillance video, it is very clear what happened once he got inside. Virtually every moment of his time inside the Capitol was caught on tape. The tapes show that Capitol Police never stopped Jacob Chansley. They helped him. They acted as his tour guides. Here's video of Chansley in the Senate chamber. Capitol Police officers take him to multiple entrances and even try to open locked doors for him. We counted at least 9 officers who were within touching distance of unarmed Jacob Chansley. Not one of them even tried to slow him down. Chansley understood that Capitol Police were his allies. Video shows him giving thanks for them in a prayer on the floor of the Senate. Watch.
Thank you, Heavenly Father, for giving the inspiration needed to these police officers to allow us in this building.
Contrast the reality of what Jacob Chansley did in the Capitol building on January 6th, the indisputable facts recorded on video, some of which has never before been seen, with the depiction of Jacob Chansley that you've seen in the media for more than 2 years. He's a terrorist, they said. He should be killed.
Shoot him. Shoot him. Like, if you burst into the United States, if he was dressed like bin Laden, would you have shot him?
Shoot him. Shoot him. It makes you wonder, who are the violent extremists here? Not Jacob Chansley. And the video proves that. But you would never have known from the media coverage.
The people sitting in the chairs need to be sitting in a jail cell.
Chansley is in a jail cell. He's been there for months. If he was, in fact, committing such...
So they're screaming, shoot him, but not to all the rioters all across the country, literally causing billions of dollars of damage, killing police officers, killing people, saying defund the police, all the fucking bullshit that's going on. And if you can't fight back either. If you fucking fight back, you're a racist fucking Nazi, and they're going to persecute you and seek with all their powers to prosecute you and make an example of you for fighting back to guard your own shit. All right.
Such a grave crime. Why didn't the officers who were standing right next to him place him under arrest? Until now, no one...
This is like we're fucking... How did we become Nazi fucking communist motherfuckers in this country? They've hijacked our schools, our universities, our information, our news media. Crazy.
One could even prove that even happened, but it did.
Okay. We just saw that. I think we just saw this. Yeah. One of the Fed informants is uncuffed because he's a Fed. The Feds had a couple dozen people there dressed up as protesters and pro-MAGA stuff. I can tell you it's coming out that the people that caused the damage to the building were those people.
Well, speaking of President-elect Trump, he posted this on Truth Social this morning. We can show it to our viewers that former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney could be in a lot of trouble. based on her work on the January 6th committee. He has said he would like to see members of that committee go to jail. Obviously, you know that there was a House Republican report on January 6th. It recommends that there be a criminal investigation into Liz Cheney. Do you think there should be a criminal investigation into Liz Cheney, one of your former colleagues?
If she broke the law, why should she be exempt? If I guarantee you, if Manu Raju or you broke the law, they'd drag y'all into court in chains. And why should she be exempt?
You don't think Liz Cheney broke the law, do you?
If she manipulated this thing, if she met with people, if she coached them, as they're saying, if she talked to them on a secret website, which they're saying she did, if she coached them, if she altered evidence, if she withheld evidence, then she broke the law.
What's the evidence? What's the evidence of that?
What's the evidence that Matt Gaetz has other than a report? You've got a report. It's the same thing. That's why people do not.
Yeah, Matt, I just saw your text. I said earlier, I've been in a crazy period of my time. I should be dead. I was talking about this. And the shit I'm about to unleash over the next few months is probably good that everybody is at a huge distance from me. I'll just say that. Because who the fuck knows what's going to happen? Okay.
Not trust the media. You have a double standard for one and not for the other. If she didn't break the law, then she's fine. But if she did break the law, she should be held accountable. If she broke the law,
isn't
then
this
she should
Banana
be
Republic stuff?
But no, it's not.
Isn't this Banana Republic stuff? We should kill them. We should kill them. That's what these empathetic, quote unquote, empathetic piece of shit motherfuckers are saying. Just fucking evil. So, of course, Liz Cheney was pre-pardoned for all this shit that's about to come out. Kash Patel, it's so important that he goes through. But all these corrupt piece of shit politicians are going to get exposed for all their bullshit. It's coming.
Banana Republic. If she broke the law, I don't see why that's such a hard thing.
You want the government to go after Trump's political enemies?
If they broke the law, I don't care if they're my political enemies or they're my friends. If they broke the law, dadgummit, they ought to be brought in and they ought to be brought to justice. That's why Trump's in the White House, because there is two systems of justice in this country, and you can't have it both ways. It's got to be straight and right down the middle. You can go back and watch all the tapes that the conservatives put out of the Democrats saying there's not two forms of justice, there's just one. Well, there is two forms of justice. The Biden White House, obviously, they're releasing criminals, they're releasing pedophiles, they're releasing Chinese communist spies, and at a record number.
Yeah, Biden, before he left, one of the people, he pardoned like 36 murderers on death row. And one of the people killed an FBI agent brutally. Another person brutally murdered a young girl and then tied a rope around her neck and threw her over a bridge with a large rock on the other side of the rope so she would drown. Shit like that. Of course, these empathetic, quote unquote, actually fucking psychopathic motherfuckers don't even make one single mention of this. Not CNN, not ABC, not NBC, none of them.
Nobody's paying attention. There is two systems of justice in this country, and I'm tired of them, and you should be either.
Congressman, I mean, you don't think that the January 6th committee should have investigated what took place at the Capitol on January 6th?
If they investigate it, why didn't they call me in? I volunteered. I was the last person to leave the House for the last House member. Myself, Mark Wayne Mullen. All they did was investigate the political wherewithal. It was a witch hunt from the start. That's why the final episode of that crazy thing, there was more people watching reruns of SpongeBob on the Cartoon Network.
Is this
than
about
that clown
so
show.
is this about
I love it. That was awesome. Okay. So we need people to stand up for what's right, because it was obvious how much of a hoax and a setup this was. By the way, Trump has just got all of our heads spinning. We cannot keep up. He He just signed executive orders to build the quote unquote Iron Dome, remove transgender ideology from the military, ban critical race theory training bullshit, Marxist fucking bullshit, and reinstate vaccine mandate discharges. So awesome. It's wild, Eric. If that's true, that's awesome. I freaking love it. Okay, we got Insurrection Barbie in the house here. Okay.
Looking to January 6th, the Democrats Select Committee on January 6th, you put out an interim report, and it's very interesting because you're suggesting that one of the members of that Democrat Select Committee on J6 violated U.S. law 18 U.S.C., I think 1512. What are you talking about there?
Well, it's more than likely, I assume you're talking about Liz Cheney, who was actually a Republican that was appointed to a Democrat spot on that committee. Basically, we're asking or suggesting that the Department of Justice look into whether or not a law was violated or not. Because of back channel communications that she had with Cassidy Hutchinson, who was a witness that they had brought in for 2 transcribed interviews, and then she was represented by an attorney. And there was back channel communications between Liz Cheney, who was on the committee, who had been subpoenaing her, between Cassidy Hutchinson and Liz Cheney without her attorney's knowledge. And even the text messages that we have that were provided to us by Mrs. Hutchinson, she acknowledges, one, that her attorney was telling her to tell the truth. And Liz also acknowledged that they really shouldn't be communicating because it's a violation of ethics as well as law or the code of the bar in DC. Not being an attorney, I don't know the exact language of how that works, but she knew that she was in violation of her code of conduct at minimum.
I think the word witness tampering comes up in your interim report. Is that correct?
Well, we do because Liz Cheney made an issue of witness tampering, accusing Donald Trump of doing witness tampering. And so at the same time, she was actually engaged, which very well could be witness tampering because it was after they had their back channel communications that Cassidy Hutchinson changed her testimonies. And that was the real concern we had. What was the communication about that they had? Was Liz Cheney encouraging her to change her testimony? Because she did shortly after they had those meetings. And then they tried to pin it on her, Cassidy Hutchinson's attorney, Stefan Passantino, and even filed charges against him that he told Cassidy to lie. And so what we are deriving from the evidence, just looking at the evidence, is they needed a scapegoat. They needed to have a reason why Cassidy perjured herself, either in her first testimonies or her second testimonies. And so they pinned it on her attorney, Stefan Passantino, and even tried to take away his career, his livelihood, by filing complaints with the Georgia bar and the DC bar, which nearly cost him his entire license. He has since been fully exonerated because he did not do any of the things that they accused him of.
You also, I think, in your interim report suggest that there is evidence of collusion between the J6 chairman, the Select Democrats Committee, J6 Committee Chairman Benny Thompson, he's a member of Congress from Mississippi, and Jack Smith, who was the special counsel in the case against the former president, Mr. Trump. Is that right?
Yeah, what we were looking at is how much coordination or collusion was happening between the Select Committee and Jack Smith.
You've seen some evidence potentially of that, right?
Well, what we have is Jack Smith has produced some of the transcribed interviews publicly that were sent to the White House that it took us a long time to actually get these transcribed interviews. These were depositions that were done of White House employees by the Select Committee on January 6th. But instead of archiving those, which my committee would have been given those were sent to the White House to be archived, not kept, even though they were House documents. We spent months and months and months, as you're aware of, trying to get those documents. When they were given to us, they were heavily redacted. We had to go to the White House to read unredacted versions, but we have never been given unredacted versions of those.
This needs to be so much more clearly just exposed for what it is. I'm frustrated because One of the best videos. It just is no longer tabbed here for me.
Well, speaking of President-elect Trump, he posted this on Truth Social.
Okay. This is great. This is a good one. Shout out to Michelle Max.
The one thing that we knew was the information that we have is compelling. The thing we needed to do was tell that to the American people in a compelling way. So that's why we brought in a former president of ABC News.
Yeah, I got a call pretty much out of the blue from the January the 6th committee. They wanted a storyteller. And while they were brilliant lawyers, storytelling for a mass audience is not what they do.
To bring in a guy like this who would think outside the box really did prove to be fruitful. And it was Goldston who really began to envision this as, in a way, a kind of mini series, that there would be, sort of 9 episodes, and that these episodes would tackle particular themes.
Attack on the Capitol, the investigation.
The first hearing.
Attack on the Capitol investigation. This is how they do their psyops. And the fucking dumbass public, like sheep being led to the slaughter and a moth to the flame, just listens to this bullshit.
Was primetime television.
As the nation is about to witness a defining moment, the first hearing before the country, the results of the January 6th investigation.
This is an extraordinary moment in American history.
When it came to that first hearing, we knew how high the stakes were.
Is about to hold its first primetime hearing.
We were either going to, make people realize that this was important, or once you've lost them, you've lost them for good.
On the evening of June 9th, 8:01 p.m., the doors opened. My heart was beating pretty fast on June 9th. And it was a real question of, is this going to work or not?
All right, everybody, here we go. 5 on the line, please.
I'm in this tiny control room right up the stairs from Cannon Caucus. And we count down to the start of the hearing. And at that point, what can you do?
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
The Select Committee to investigate the January 6th attack on the United States Capitol will be in order.
The communist Nazi motherfucker committee quote unquote investigating. Yeah, right.
Without objection.
We wanted to make sure that this was a presentation that would grab the audience and hold on to them. Chairman Thompson loved to say, it's got to pop.
Oh, man, there's more damning shit just from that. She missed it. Okay. Here's a guy just confessing. Do we remember this? This guy just came out and confessed what he did.
At the Capitol building, and I just left the protest at the Capitol building, and I got a big bruise on my leg. I had a difficult time pulling off the act that I was paid to do, and
he just pulled off the act that he was paid to do.
Making this video because I want to confess that I was paid to pretend to protest today. I can't say by who, but I will just say that it's a organized effort.
And that's either by George Soros, because we know he did that, or by the FBI. And the FBI straight up lied to Congress about that. We'll get to it. So I had a whole bunch more shit here. So let's just take a look at some of these guys that were released. Okay.
And still move mountains. And President Trump parted a Red Sea
by the grace of God, he was sent for all of us here. Our families, the broken families of Jan 6ers, are witnessing a biblical miracle by the power of faith can still move mountains. Prayers work, people. Keep praying. Keep praying.
Look at these fucking traitors. Look at these terrorists. Shoot them. Shoot them.
It was prayer that got me free. It was Jesus Christ who used President Trump. He saved us. God bless you, soldier. God is good to our people. He promises to never forsake those who call upon his name. And we've asked the Lord for many nights, 1,466 nights I spent, 17 different prisons, a year and a half without a shave or a haircut. Ronnie still hasn't had a shave or a haircut. I don't know why. And, you know, this was torture that was inhumane, but it cultivated a persevering heart in these men right here. These are American leaders. We're talking congressmen, we're talking school board presidents, we're talking billionaires here. We are talking the next Elon Musks are standing right next to me. The next men of influence, of godly influence, are standing next to me, and they're being released right now. We are talking about a generational shift in depth. Right here, Daniel Goodwin as well. A leader when I was being forsaken, and he was making documentaries on our behalf, fighting for us out there. These men had already had their freedom, and they decided to stand shoulder to shoulder with us instead of running and cowering. Just like we did at the Capitol, we stood up without a single shot fired, without a single violent intention of our own. The people were inside the people's house, and guess what? The people are back at the people's house right now. We're in D.C. Amen. God is good, guys. It is such a blessing to be here. I want to really be able to connect with my father more. That man standing in the background is the backbone to the entire January 6th movement. When nobody was there, Ned Lang was there. And he's been there for me since day one. I got to get some free time. I got to get some personal time. My family, my fiance here, guys, I love you very much. This is a blessing. There's no other way to put it than it's just a blessing poured out from heaven. The windows of heaven have opened up and poured out something that man could not create. Only God could cultivate this. Only God could structure something like this. And so we give him the glory tonight. We thank him for prospering us. And he's laid a table. I mean, seeing those prison guards' faces and U.S. Marshals. Oh, Lord. We prepared a table for us before our enemies, and we feasted on freedom right in front of them. The same people that turned the lock and the key on us for so many nights and told us, you get in, you sit down.
And these empathetic, lefty, fucking psychopathic lunatics, even though, oh, it's just killing me. I had this awesome video. I got to find it, but I tried. So they want to just throw the book at, like, so Trump's like, hey, look, they've been in jail for 4 years already and falsely accused with no due process. And they just want to throw the book. Shame on them for on Trump for releasing all of those terrorists who attack police officers. Right.
When we tell you to sit down, you eat when you tell you to eat. Those are the same people that opened up the door for us and had to grin and bear it. President Trump has done something immense right now. And so, guys, let me enjoy some time with my family. I love you guys. We'll be hearing from all the Jan 6ers very soon. We've got more being released. They have stories of their own.
Yep.
They've suffered, and it's time to tell the stories. And
the
to
truth
gain back
is
all that's been taken
being made
God
known.
bless America, and God bless you guys. Thank you. God bless you guys.
All day, every day. All day, every day. The truth is coming out. The truth is coming out like crazy. All day, every day.
The table. Did you? I'm trying to get around my head around. Take the table. Did you remove a table from the Capitol?
No, I touched a table. Like, I put my hand on a table and they accused me of stealing the table, theft of government property. And they came to me with a plea deal the day before the election, saying that if I pled guilty to stealing the table, that carried a maximum sentence of 1 year in prison and a $100,000 fine, that they would drop my trespassing charges.
This is Brandon. You've been on me for years on this. I'm so glad you told your story, Isabella. We're going to continue covering this because I think actually people have to really understand what happens with these prosecutors and how these cases go down. because this could happen again unless this is prevented from happening again. Brandon, Isabella, both of you.
Brandon's story is a crazy one too. This shit's getting exposed. It's a hoax. They fucking weaponized the DOJ against Trump supporters, and they staged it. It was planned. Then they say all the bullshit that they've been saying, all the narratives. Trump, they were accusing Trump this whole time. A lot of them still do. Okay, they were accusing Trump of, you know, causing this to happen, kind of forcing this to happen, like rally the troops, like Trump sent these people out there. When the truth is, he told Nancy Pelosi he would send up to 10,000 soldiers, and she turned it down. All these motherfuckers need to be fucking in jail. Who the fuck even votes for Nancy Pelosi? Like, really? Yeah, I love it, Gina. That's right. That's right. So in the last videos, we talked about how the globalist Marxist motherfuckers that run the fucking world and are getting their asses beaten by Trump aren't just going to lay down. Like, they're trying to cause World War III. They're casually talking about, we can just, you know, we're going to send 100,000 peaceful helpers to Ukraine, and then we'll split Ukraine into 4 different countries, and we can split Russia into a whole bunch of different countries too. And so the EU is the EU is way worse than fucking Russia. Way worse. Communist, crazy motherfuckers. The EU. Shout out Gina. Okay. So this motherfucker right here paid.
Do not go in there.
Yep. So he tries to accuse that guy. He's acting like it's that guy that broke the window. And then he,
Radio
like a
journalist from
pussy,
Michigan
backs down.
was shooting video that day at the Capitol. What he captured were 2 most charitably called suspicious actors, but they are dressed in such a way that led him to believe that they were government agents. And one of them, after the windows had been broken by a protester, it was encouraging people to pull the rest of the glass out and go inside. Bobby Powell, who was the journalist that had shot it, and he has his camera rolling, he told him that would be illegal and that wouldn't be a good idea. He warned people off not to go into that window. And then he turned his camera around and he caught this agent or suspicious actor pulling a large pane of glass out, this tempered glass. It kind of folds into itself.
You saw he's on
Crunch
camera?
onto the ground. When he realized he was being filmed, he quickly dropped it. It seems apparent on the video that he did not want to be seen doing what he just did. So he pulled in a protester and started blaming him. He said, "What are you doing breaking that window?" The poor fellow that was being accused didn't know what was going on. And then he gave him a couple of really good shoves and cocked his arm like he was going to punch him. We don't know. His facial image is not on any of the Sedition Hunters sites or the FBI's most wanted site, but he clearly was committing criminal damage to property, and he has not been charged. So it, you know, again, it raises.
So that guy wasn't fucking charged, boys and girls. Right. I see. You mean so the people that actually did the damage didn't get charged? And then the narrative that they're spewing like the viper snakes that they are day and night is how Trump, first of all, you know, how Trump is, holy cow, deporting all these poor people. No, he's fucking deporting MS-13 gang motherfuckers. Fucking crazy motherfuckers. People that have 5 felonies, 10 felonies, 17 fucking felony arrest charges that our dumbass country There should never be anyone that ever has even 5 felonies on the record. But you know what? We got a lot of motherfuckers walking the streets who have 10 plus and even 20 plus, 30 plus fucking felonies in this country. And they're not white, most of them. In spite the fact that they want to try and use the statistics that the white people are always let off. They're always let go. They have shorter sentences. They skew the facts. You have liars, you have damn liars, and then you have statistics produced by fucking universities putting this shit out. The truth is, if you're black, if you're foreign, you're more likely to get a shorter sentence than if you're white. That's the truth. We're going to hit on that hard. Okay. All the lies. It's nonstop indoctrinating lies day and night from media, universities, and they're at the universities. They are indoctrinating our most vulnerable. Like, we got to draw a line somewhere. This garbage has got to stop. Stop. The universities have lost their damn mind. It's got to stop.
A question of why.
Also, the individual trying to, again, opening the window up is even encouraging people to enter, I believe, as well.
Yes.
What's he saying?
Well, he said, why don't y'all open the rest of it up?
Why don't you guys open up the rest of it?
Okay. Yeah.
Because I think that part would be illegal. Oh, I know my glasses.
Suspicious actor. And then he realized, oh shit, I just got videoed on that. Okay, this is heartfelt. I cannot believe. Where's my other ones? What in the world?
He is no longer with us, and
Okay.
I wholeheartedly
We got to see
place
this.
that.
This is nuts.
With all the talk surrounding Donald Trump pardoning January 6th defendants, there's one person in particular that I have never heard anybody talk about, and his name was Matthew Perna. Unfortunately, he is no longer with us, and I wholeheartedly place that blame on our federal government. In 2016, Matt had been a longtime Bernie Sanders supporter, but Donald Trump changed that. Fast forward to 2020, and Matt was left in shock, as was I and millions of other people. He had decided to attend the Stop the Steal rally on January 6, 2021, with the anticipation that it was going to be an historic day, as did tens of thousands of other people and myself. Matt ended up being shoulder to shoulder with thousands of other people who had made their way to the Capitol. He had no intention of entering the building, but with the force of the crowd behind him, he had no choice. While inside of the Capitol Rotunda, he stayed within the velvet ropes. He touched nothing, broke nothing, stole nothing. He was actually in the building for 15 minutes or less and exited the rear of the building. After that, him and his buddies went back to their hotel room, and he posted a 7-minute video on Facebook detailing the day's events that you could still find today. By January 14th, 2021, a friend had let Matt know that his picture was on the FBI website. Matt immediately turned himself in. Hindsight is always 20/20, so Matt's family wished that he had went in with an attorney before speaking with the FBI agents. He thought that if he just truthfully explained what happened, that the FBI agents would understand that it was all just a big misunderstanding, and that would be the end of it. But we all know that that's not how the government works. Nope. By February 25th, 2021, the grand jury indicted Matt on 4 counts. Obstruction of an official proceeding and aiding and abetting, entering and remaining in a restricted area or grounds, disorderly and disruptive conduct in a restricted building or grounds, and disorderly conduct in a Capitol building. Matt was told that he would most likely spend between 6 and 12 months in a federal prison. So on December 17th, 2021, Matt entered his plea of guilty. Do you believe in coincidences? Because I don't. And his sentencing was going to be held on the 7-year anniversary of his mother's death. But then they postponed it to April Fool's Day. April Fool's Day is the day that the DOJ decided that they were going to add a sentencing enhancement of terrorism. Think about that. Essentially, he originally pleaded guilty to 4 charges, and then as they're about to sentence him for those 4 charges, the prosecution comes in as a sentencing enhancement of terrorism, all in an effort to persuade the judge to hand down a harsher sentence. How is that constitutional? This would have taken his 6 to 12 month sentence and made it a 41 to 72 month sentence. The weight of all of that essentially just became too much for Matt. During Matt's 13-month ordeal, he called congressman and congresswoman after congressman and congresswoman on both sides of the aisle, and he never got a single call back.
Never got a single call back from our piece of shit politicians.
Shortly after Matt was indicted, his long-term girlfriend also left him. Facebook and Instagram disabled his accounts. He had absolutely no voice.
Facebook and Instagram fucking censoring everything. Okay, now they want to say that lefties losing it, lunatics are committing suicide. They're blaming Trump. Oh, all you horrible people that voted for Trump, now all these people are committing suicide. Oh, really? Because what? Trump's trying to free your speech now? And like help save the freaking world? It's insane what he's doing. It's awesome. It's amazing. Okay.
When he used his aunt's Facebook account to speak out and apologize for what he had done, he was completely ostracized from his community. His entire family was, and they were all shamed as racist, white supremacist insurrectionists. It was
His family was also shamed as racist, insurrectionist, terrorist. That's what these motherfuckers do. Like, we've lost our country until Trump came back, and he's maybe going to bring it back. Like, these Marxist communist motherfuckers are not just going to keep laying down. We already know they're doing these riots down in Texas and Florida and wherever else. Hell no, we won't go. Like, freaking out about deporting illegal immigrants that we covered earlier that aren't, it's illegal. If you go to Mexico illegally, they kick your ass out. Simple as that. And then their fucking response and logic to that is, well, we shouldn't be here. We stole this country away. Oh, okay. Right. Fuck off. How did Mexico steal their country? How did Canada steal their country? Like, bullshit. Endless levels of bullshit of people who hate America, who literally are just trying to hijack it at any cost. Oh, yeah. Yep, absolutely. It's happening. We knew it was coming. They're blocking highways and roads.
It was just all too much. And on February 27th, 2022, Matt ended his own life.
All right, we had a lot of that. There are several suicides. Okay. I can't believe it's like, what the heck?
With all the talk surrounding Donald Trump pardoning Jim.
I had a lot more to cover. There is, okay, so the truth is coming out like crazy everywhere. How these people were falsely arrested, people were held without a trial and without a charge for years in some cases. They were like forced and pressured in to pleading guilty. And then they pulled shit like they did on this guy just to make an example of them and show their strength. So this is where it's like wild, because it almost like it's backfired on them so badly that, and so many people are getting their eyes opened from all the bullshit that's happening everywhere. And so many, like, I think California could go red. And of course, they rigged the elections. But if we can get a handle on the fucking bullshit rigged elections, I could see literally all 50 states going red. Like, that's how out of control because of free speech. Thankful to Elon, freeing speech, showing us all, it's like, that's all it takes. One freaking platform with free speech, because we know what goddamn YouTube and Google, it's been testified in Congress multiple times that how they can literally coerce the elections. Like they can make whatever happen they want happen because they control the information. That's why DuckDuckGo got big, because of bullshit Google testifying, by the way, multiple whistleblowers from Google testifying in Congress on how they rigged the fucking elections. All the censoring, all the fucking bullshit, misinformation, bullshit. Anytime you see quote unquote misinformation, okay, it means that what they're saying is misinformation. You can almost always take it to the bank. Lie after lie after lie after lie. And this, guys, this has been going on for freaking decades. Okay. We're just getting started, boys and girls. I'm going to wrap up my third video of the day. I'm going to do my fourth video on exposing a lot of the bullshit, California bullshit, not only the fires, but also the homelessness and bullshit that's going on in California. I'm going to do it tonight, baby. I was saying tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and do it tonight. I thought this one might be a 2 or 3 hour long video. I could go on and on and on about the J6 hoax. Oh, wait. Okay, wait. Okay. And on and on and on. I'm just making sure. Okay. Okay. Like, I know that we could search J6 probably and just, there's a couple. Yeah. Like I had saved this video.
Blue State, Jeremy Harrell here, LFA TV. Folks, we knew that things were going to start happening with pardoned January 6 hostages just because of the reports from, Blue State district attorneys and attorneys general saying that they were going to seek investigative, seek an investigation or charges against pardoned January 6 hostages, even though they have no jurisdiction to do so because it didn't happen within their state. Well, we knew that they were going to start going after these January 6 hostages somehow, even though they were just pardoned last week. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today is that day. I am very sorry to announce that deputies in the Pulaski County line of Illinois just shot and killed a pardoned January 6 hostage during a routine traffic stop where the person that was pulled over, Matthew Huddle, a pardoned January 6th hostage, apparently resisted arrest during a routine traffic stop. He's from Indiana, pulled over in Illinois, resisted arrest, which led to a fatal gunshot wound by the deputy who pulled him over. Now, if this was a white cop killing a black,
the whole fucking country would be burning down if that guy's black. Well, hang on. He's just an Uncle Tom if he's Republican. They wouldn't give a fuck about that guy. But hey, if he's like a fucking violent offender criminal, then the whole country would be up in arms, burning fucking shit down and raiding and stealing shit everywhere.
Black kid or a black man, every community in America would be demanding the body cam footage. The county police said that they put him on administrative leave with pay, pending an investigation, which is what they say standard for this kind of this kind of a situation, which I agree with that. But I'll guarantee you this gets swept under the rug and you never hear about it again. I want the body cam footage. I want people in an uproar. I want communities demanding that Matthew Huddle's death, which is very likely probably a murder, because we know how these law enforcement officials feel about these January 6 hostages, because of the way the media and the left just painted them as the worst people in history. We want the body cam footage. I want to know, was this officer justified in shooting this individual, Matthew Huddle, this pardoned just as of last week January 6 hostage, or did he murder him? Was he justified, or did he murder him? That's the question. And I think everybody deserves that answer. I think the January 6th community deserves that answer, because if it was a murder and it wasn't justified, then this is just going to be open season on pardoned January 6 hostages, and we can't stand for that. So for all that and more, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you're following LFA TV on Rumble and on X at LFA TV US, www.lfatv.us, my show every day, 11 to 1 Eastern Standard Time. God bless.
It's so weird. These are the people that are standing up for the blue. Blue lives matter. These are the blue lives matter fucking people.
Into the Capitol. We need to go into the Capitol. Into the Capitol. We need to go into the Capitol.
Oh, so this guy, that's right. So Ray Epps urged everyone to go to the Capitol, and J6 then received probation, while peaceful patriots received years in prison. If that's not a setup, I don't know what is. Yep. Throw the J6 committee in prison. That's right, Liz. The J6 riot was orchestrated by Nancy Pelosi and others to set the stage to entrap Trump supporters and to label them as domestic terrorists. What do we got here?
That there's some security. We have got to finish the proceedings, or else it would have a complete victory.
Senator Schumer is at a secure location, and they're locked down in the Senate.
There has to be some way we can maintain the sense that people have that there's some security or some confidence that government can function and that we can elect the President of the United States. Did we go back into session?
We did go back into session, but now apparently everybody on the floor is putting on tear gas masks to prepare for a breach. Well, I'm trying to get more information.
They're putting on their
tear gas masks.
By the way, Donald Trump said, I can send you as many as 10,000 military troops. And she said no. And then Trump said, not even 100, 200, 300. She said no. That's the truth. And the truth is just going to keep coming out.
We need an area for the House members. They're all walking over now through the tunnels.
I'm going to call up the effing Secretary of DOD. We have some senators who are still in their hideaways. They need massive personnel now. Can you get the Maryland National Guard to come too?
I have something to say, Mr. Secretary. Well, I'm going to call the mayor of Washington, D.C. right now and see what other outreach he has to other police departments, as Leader Hoyer has mentioned.
Get him up!
Hi, Governor. This is Nancy. Governor, I don't know if you have been approached about the Virginia National Guard. Mr. Hoyer was speaking to Governor Hogan, but I still think you probably need the okay of the federal government in order to come into another jurisdiction. Thank you. Oh my God!
We know who these guys are.
Breaking windows, they're doing all kinds of. It's really that they said somebody was shot. It's just horrendous, and all at the instigation of the President of the United States. Okay, thank you, Governor. I appreciate what you're doing, and if you don't mind, I'd like to stay in touch.
It was
Thank
all by design, all of this.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Virginia Guard has been called in.
You know, I'm just talking to Governor Northam, and what he said is they sent 200 state police and a unit of the National Guard. They're breaking windows and going in, obviously ransacking our offices and all the rest of that. That's nothing. The concern we have about personal harm, personal safety it just transcends everything. But the fact is, on any given day, they're breaking the law in many different ways. And quite frankly, much of it at the instigation of the President of the United States. And now, if he could at least somebody.
Yeah, why don't you get the president to tell them to leave the Capitol, Mr. Attorney General, in your law enforcement responsibility? A public statement, they should all leave.
That was very planned. Why don't you get the president to get these terrorists out of here? That was, oh yeah. He knew what was going on here. How they were the ones that turned away the military.
This cannot be just we're waiting for so-and-so. We need them there now, whoever you got.
You also have troops. This is Steny Hoyer. Troops.
Okay, so we have a little
Fort
bit of time
McNair,
to make that decision.
Andrews Air Force Base.
All right,
Other military bases.
thank you.
We
Thanks,
need
Paul. Bye.
active duty National Guard.
How soon in the future can you have the place evacuated, cleaned out?
I don't want to speak for the leadership that's going to be responsible for executing the operation, so I'm not going to say that because they're on the ground and they're the
Just pretend for a moment it was the Pentagon or the White House or some other entity that was under siege. And let me say, you can logistically get people there as you make the plan. We're trying to figure out how we can get this job done today. We talked to Mitch about it earlier. He's not in the room right now, but he was with us earlier and said, we want to expedite this, and hopefully they could confine it to just one complaint, Arizona, and then we could vote, and that would be, then just move forward with the rest of the state. The overriding wish is to do it at the Capitol. What we are being told very directly is it's going to take days for the Capitol to be okay again. We've gotten a very bad report about the condition of the House floor with defecation and all that kind of thing as well. I don't think that that's hard to clean up, but I do think it is more from a security standpoint of making sure that everybody is out of the building, and how long will that take? I just got off with the Vice President.
And I got off with the Vice President-elect. So I'll tell you.
Okay, but what we left the conversation with, because he said he had the impression from Mitch that Mitch wants to get everybody back to do it there.
Yes.
I said, well, we're getting a counterpoint that is, it could take time to clean up the poo-poo that they're making all over literally and figuratively in the Capitol, and that it may take days to get back.
And I'm at the Capitol building. I'm literally standing with the chief of police of the U.S. Capitol Police. He just informed me what you will hear through official channels. Paul Irving, your sergeant at arms, will inform you that their best information is that they believe that the House and the Senate will be able to reconvene in roughly an hour.
Good news.
Your sergeant at arms will be in touch about the process for getting members back in the building.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President. Good news.
They're done escorting everybody through the Capitol and seeing them, letting them say goodbye. And then you guys can reconvene. Yep. Well said, Liz Churchill. Capitol police officer has lied about injuries he sustained on January 6th, testified under oath. J6 and then J6 surveillance video finds him guilty for the crimes of perjury and defrauding the United States government, including his wife. Let's look at this.
It was now until 4:26 p.m. after giving CPR to one of the rioters who breached the Capitol in an effort to save her life that I finally had a chance to let my own family know that I was alive.
He's crying. Okay, and then we're going to see what actually happened. These piece of shit motherfuckers. Unfucking believable.
After order has been restored at the Capitol, in many hours, I arrived at home at nearly 4 a.m. on January 7th. I had to push my wife away from me because she wanted to hug me. And I told her no, because of the other chemical that my uniform had on.
Oh, all the chemical. Right. Let's see. We're about to see this, folks. What really happened.
Sorry.
Oh, take your pictures.
I couldn't sleep because the chemical reactivated after I took a shower, and my skin was burning. I finally fell asleep 2 hours later, completely physically and mentally exhausted. Yet by 8 o'clock a.m., I was already back on my way back to the Capitol.
Okay. Now we're going to see what actually happened. How about this, boys and girls? That's him. I mean, he's barely making it out of there alive. Yeah. Like what my question is, was he coerced to do that or was he paid to do that? How much? Man, they pay these motherfuckers to do this shit. We know. Were they just kicking him? Oh no, they're trying to bring somebody back to life there. This guy's guilty for the crimes of perjury. He is just fine. He just put on a show for us there in Congress, lying. There he is. Yeah, thank God for Elon Musk. Because if it wasn't for Elon Musk buying Twitter, all this shit would be blocked as misinformation, just like it was 4 years ago. We already went through all this. Already went through all this, by the way. And it was all censored and blocked. The guy's so full of empathy that he was feeling the pain as it wasn't his own pain that he was testifying about, people. He was feeling the pain of this poor person that looks like they just fucking killed or something. Okay. This one. Yes, expose it all, Liz Wheeler. She explains it so well. The House report is shocking. We are the media, so share this out. The lies of J6 are unraveling. I think this was another one.
The FBI agent in charge, Stephen D'Antoine, new House report on the January 6th pipe bomber is shocking. The FBI tracked phone data and narrowed the suspects down to 186 phone numbers. Then they narrowed that down to one phone number. And the FBI suddenly stopped investigating the case. Why? The FBI agent in charge, Stephen D'Antoine, told Congress that the phone data from a major telecom company was corrupted. That's why the investigation was stopped. But the telecom company says the data was not corrupted. The FBI lied to Congress. Why? To cover something up?
Lies, lies, and more lies. It's all lies.
Now the FBI and other agencies of the federal government are stonewalling Congress. Oh, and the two people who found the pipe bombs on January 6th were a woman carrying a basket of laundry who's actually a swamp creature who works for an Intel-connected organization, and the other was found by a plainclothes Fed. Both bombs sat undetected for over 16 hours until both were found independently of each other within 15 minutes of the first breach of the Capitol. And the frame rate, the speed of the video, the frame rate of the one video the FBI released of the pipe bomber averaged 1.2 frames per second, which is lower than any security camera on the market by 8-fold. This implies, of course, that the video was tampered with. By whom? The implications of this are enormous. We're closer than ever before in totally exposing the totality of what an absolute evil hoax January 6th was. Don't lose steam.
There it is, baby. It was a hoax.
Now, get this over the finish line. Expose it all. You are the media. Make this famous.
Let's go.
New House report on the January 6th.
Well said. Well said. Okay. We are adding that one to the J6. We're going to be covering all this. All of these are going to be videos that I'm doing coming up soon. Let me get this straight. The J6 committee who destroyed evidence and were just pardoned by Biden are upset that Trump pardoned the J6ers. Make it make sense. Well said. Liz Churchill, release all J6 prisoners now. It was all staged. Mitch McConnell wanted it to be a mess so he could secure a Trump impeachment conviction for Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. Yeah. Let's look at this one.
Why wasn't there more security?
Yeah, there was 30 guards out back there.
It was ridiculous. It was off stage.
You think it was DC, the mayor influenced?
I think she's just a puppet.
Yeah.
I think it was done for high.
How does that?
Hell, Mitch McConnell was part of it.
I was going to say.
Mitch fucking McConnell was pardoned?
How much security they have on stand. I think they wanted to have a mess.
I know they wanted to. There's no other explanation. The moment, like.
But they wouldn't have had a mess with you guys. They had to have also recruited this other group of people. And then I do believe, because I don't know if you guys have been caught up in it or not. When you're in mobs, you can get caught up in emotion.
Oh yeah, I was ready to go.
You can get caught up in emotion.
Especially when you're getting tear gas and
So some of those folks probably just got caught up in the emotion of it.
Well, they had a guy with a loudspeaker up on that tower. There was a tower in the middle of everything in the back. And there was a dude on a loudspeaker hanging everybody on, telling everybody what to do. Like, reinforce this side, reinforce that side. Like, they're going through over here. Like, it was definitely something to behold.
I'm sure it was fantastic.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Like, unbelievable.
Really interesting. Yeah. It was
freaking crazy. Okay. The media withheld this video for almost 3 years. Democrats and the media withheld this video for almost 3 years of them escorting people in and out. Okay, we watched that one. I think we might have seen this one. Breaking. This is new J6 footage released of the first shots fired at protesters. Right. We already showed that. No one is rioting yet. Capitol police officers are firing at their heads. DOJ and the J6 Select Committee hid all of this footage from defendants and the public. Imagine what else they've hid. Yep. Yeah, that's good. The Fauci pardon. We're going to be covering that hardcore, all the COVID garbage. Yeah. Oh, they manipulated. So the J6 committee was busted for manipulating footage to aid dramatic effect, and nobody went to jail. Yeah, we saw this one. Man, there's like a banger. Schumer just sponsored a resolution to condemn President Trump's J6 pardons, and every single Democrat signed it. Just like that, a midterms bloody bone tossed to a grieving base to reclaim the House, complete unity, and the GOP still refuses to vote for DJT's cabinet nominees. Yeah. So Mitch McConnell, is that true? Did Mitch McConnell actually get a pardon? Why haven't I heard that? Why is that? Or did I hear that? I don't remember hearing that. Okay, this is about the dude who was killed by a cop. Yeah, OMG, I can't even. Those who did this need to be held to account. J6 people have been tortured, beaten, isolated, politicized, and broken in every way possible. And now this, we must have justice and accountability. What is this?
Once upon a time, listen, we released in this document. Contained in here is the re-education material that was provided to the January 6th defendants. And if you start reading through just the titles alone, you'll start to quiver. I did. Was very upset.
You mean this is systematic? They're trying to reprogram them while they're
This is the reprogramming information given to them on their tablet. Like once upon a time in prison, you would take a class on plumbing or an electrical or trade. You would do something or another language. They were actually given credit for taking classes on, may I share a couple of titles? Taking classes on information such as, I'll tell you what, I'm going to say something else. Well, Kara, will you find that section there, please? So these were re-education materials distributed to them about Trump's big lie.
Re-education materials. This is like fucking Nazi Germany. God.
Well, how the election here. Oh, here we go. Trump's crimes before he called for the attack on our democracy. Donald Trump, how he has attacked our democracy. Negligence, obstruction, rape, tax evasion. These are actual lesson plans. Take a look at the tablet. Ask them.
They said rape on there. So you know that the fake news media is getting sued and it's already won. Trump has won 2 cases of people who are defaming him. And it's very hard to win a lawsuit. The farting Spartan. It's very hard to win a lawsuit to sue the media if you're the president of the United fucking States. And Trump still's been winning because they fabricated this shit about Trump. And now they're forcing, I mean, this is like fucking prison camps, like the Holocaust motherfuckers did, like fucking Hitler did. This is that type of shit that's going on right here in our country.
To show you that were available to them in the jail.
Okay. I think we saw this one. J6er. Oh, he has evidence proving Nancy Pelosi. Okay. I think I was going to play this
for some reason when they finally did. Okay, quick message number 2. This one's important. So when I was locked up in DC, again, Jan 6er here. When I was locked up pre-trial, they basically denied us any access to evidence. For some reason, when they finally did give us access to evidence, I got access to evidence.com that nobody else was, except for us that were in DC at the time back in 2021, 22. When we got access to that, I was getting more information than most anybody else on the outside. Lawyers didn't see what we saw. When I came out, I managed to get myself bond where almost nobody else did once they were held pretrial in DC. When I did, I had evidence, and I have it in my possession right now. Just got it out of my storage unit that shows that President Trump is right. Nancy Pelosi is directly responsible for what happened on January 6th. It is a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's fact. More to come. I can prove Nancy Pelosi was responsible for this. Okay, quick part 2, because I was asked to do this. The evidence that I have about January 6th being a setup, everything that you have seen is a lie. That is fact. That is going to be proven. We need to show up in front of Congress, me and every other single Jan 6er who has been through this, to testify and show what we have. The evidence that I have seen is a vast conspiracy. This, again, is not conspiracy theory. This is conspiracy fact. We can prove that Nancy Pelosi worked with the Pentagon, Milley. We've got Schumer. We have
all people that were fucking pre-pardoned, by the way, for the first time ever. All these people were fucking pre-pardoned. It's never happened until now. All these motherfuckers were pre-pardoned.
Various members of Congress and Senate, some of which are still there. We have the FBI. We have various 3-letter organizations. This is fact. I want people to know that I'm not suicidal, and I just got out of the doctors. I'm in great health. So if something happens to me, it was not natural. Okay. There is stuff that I know that I can present to Congress, to investigators, to prove everything that I'm saying. This was a setup. This whole thing is a lie.
Well, you fucking should have shared what it is, dude. Killing me. What is it? Okay. Here's this guy that committed suicide. Okay. So, and he was completely evil, falsely accused. Completely evil, walking calmly through the Capitol building. He's the guy that they increased his sentence on April Fool's Day to like 4 or 5 years or something. Falsely accused, as evil as it fucking gets. These piece of shit motherfuckers. And then Biden, releases Yemen terrorists from jail while peaceful J6 protesters still sit in prison. Fucking crazy. Yeah, so Lindsey Graham is also neck deep in the J6 fiasco, which is weird. He doesn't have a pardon to protect him. The J6 officers who died, nope. Don't see any here who died due to a J6er. Stroke, suicide, 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 suicide. Like we can just go on and on and on. Thomas Faust, make this guy famous. J6ers deserve reparations and justice. Okay. He's the director of the Department of Corrections, and he's in charge of the DC jail, the same DC jail that has tortured J6 prisoners, the same DC jail that made sure their food was not edible, apparently. I've heard a lot of that. The same DC jail that made sure they were beaten and punished for speaking out, for having people advocate on their behalf. Yep. Okay. Says, buckle up. The J6 committee will be subpoenaed and they have no excuse not to testify because they've already been pardoned. But you know what? They weren't pardoned for perjury.
Look, we all know, buckle up, because we're going to get to the bottom of what the nonsense select committee for January 6th. There's a reason that everybody on that committee was pardoned. It's because they were not telling the truth. They were lying to the American people. Look, we all know that what happened on January 6th, 4 years ago, was bad. It was awful. A number of people assaulted law enforcement. That's unacceptable. But the narrative that the Democrats have had for the last 4 years is not true. It's false. They embellish, they lie, and we're going to show them exactly what happened. We're going to get to the bottom of it, and we're going to find out why President Biden pardoned all of the members of the January 6th committee. And guess what? Because they're pardoned, they don't have an excuse not to come in and testify before us. So we're going to get to the bottom of this, particularly the members that are no longer in office. Expect a subpoena soon.
You know what else? I bet they are covering up. We're going to hit on this eventually. I don't know when, because I've got a lot more digging to do, but I'm pretty sure that the assassination attempts on Trump was also an inside job, just like JFK was. That's coming out. Martin Luther King, that's wild. I don't know if you guys heard what the fuck happened there. And I'll be covering that as well. Okay. Yeah. We're going to find out about Ray Epps. I think we're going to find about Scaffold Man. We're going to find out some other things. The truth will shock many. J6 was a setup. Trump fires all DOJ officials involved with Jack Smith, baby, and the J6 lawfare investigations, like our fucking Nazi, fascist, communist motherfuckers just put on to the American people. And then they have the fucking audacity to turn around and call Trump a fascist. Daniel Ball received a pardon from Trump. His paperwork was processed, and on paper, he was released. Moments later, he's still in the possession of the BOP. Daniel was arrested again. Daniel was taken back to his cell in the D.C. gulag. Not understanding what's happening, the government has charged Daniel with having a .22 rifle and some ammo that did not fit the 22 during the J6 raid of his home. So their homes were fucking raided. The Nazi fucking browncoats coming in and raiding these motherfuckers. There's a whole lot of crazy shit on that we haven't even covered. The pardon includes all actions related to J6, the raid of his home, and obviously part of the J6 charge. The government doesn't want to let Daniel free because they tortured Daniel, and there is physical evidence of that. While the FCC Petersburg VA, Daniel was chained to his cell door and was beaten by 2 guards. He was beaten so badly, his teeth went through his face. He was chained to his cell for hours, fearful the guards would make good on their promise to come back and rape him. Now the government, that's fucking crazy if that's true. Now the government isn't trying to send Daniel back to FCC Petersburg, an obvious attempt to scare him into silence. Daniel's life is in danger. We need him released immediately. That was January 27th. Today is the 27th. So that post just came out. That's fucking crazy. All these amazingly empathetic, caring, left-wing motherfucking piece of shit, Nazi fascist motherfucking sons of bitches. Narcissistic, psychotic, sociopathic, crazy motherfuckers. "2020 Democrat riots." This is great. This is exactly our fucking point right here. And these are fucking riots. Billions, hundreds of billions of dollars of damage. Dozens of people murdered and killed. They called ours a riot, the MAGA quote unquote riot, which was actually a peaceful protest. And they were there legitimately, by the way, because our fucking country's getting overrun by evil Nazi fascist corruption to the core. We're adding that motherfucker here to the J6 hoax. They opened doors, right? We saw, yeah. So there's several scenes of them just opening the fucking doors, not breaking through windows. That did happen, I guess. Probably by the paid fake protesters. Some of those people breaking the windows weren't even fucking charged. Just absolutely fucking unbelievable. Entrapment. Here's another guy 22 hours ago still being held in jail. Benjamin Martin. Hang on. Okay. Let's fucking go. Free that motherfucker. Remember this video from J6? A reminder that MAGA doesn't wear black. Local prisons are delaying the release of J6ers while these provocateurs and FBI informants go free. So if anyone asks why they should get a pardon, show them this. All right, let's see it. I think I see it. Huh. So those people were fake, I guess, is what's being alleged there. Okay. It's such a strain on American history what our government did to the J6 prisoners. How many charged committed suicide? 4 to 6. How many lives were ruined by this political scam? I hope each prisoner gets millions for being put through this atrocity. It's very true. Oh, this is me. Okay. I think this is a good one. What is it? YouTube? For some reason, YouTube. Oh, it's. Look at this motherfucking Trump terrorist motherfucker. Right. This is a terrorist. Yeah. So that's actually a really good video, well worth the watch. And he does go into great detail about how much bullshit went in to all of it. All this shit's getting exposed everywhere. So Trump appointed prosecutor opens review of Justice Department's Jan 6 cases. Lawyers who worked on the matters are asked to turn over their files. And hey, we already know these motherfuckers destroy all this shit like Hillary did. They're destroying the fucking evidence. And a lot of it was already destroyed. Man. All right. I'm done. Gonna be done. Kaboom. Pelosi exposed in J6 video. In her own words, how many times did the members ask, are we prepared? Are we prepared? We're not prepared for the worst. We're calling the National Guard now. They should have been here to start out. We have totally failed. Huh. Did she say anything else? We need to take some responsibility for not moving to secure the Capitol. Yeah, Trump offered soldiers, as we know, and she turned it down. So let me get this straight. It takes 4 years to lie to us that there were only 26 feds in the crowd on January 6th. You lied to us about COVID. You lied to us about the jab. You lied to us about masks. And now you want us to believe that there were only 26 feds. Kiss my A. Let's go, Bobby D. That's right. It's lies, lies, and more lies. And I'm going to keep exposing the media lies and exposing it for what it is. This footage contains electronic bookmark that is still archived in the Capitol's computer system. That means Liz Cheney and the J6 committee viewed this tape. She saw it, they saw it, but refused to release the tape. Why? Because this tape would shatter the fraud of the January 6th committee were perpetrating in the country. Okay. Yep. I mean, just on and wait till more of this shit. Elon Musk, by the way, it's Elon fucking donating money. Of course, no surprise there. We're going to get into California, the nonsense going on all over California, the poverty, the scams, the government corruption, insane government corruption, and the BS on the fires. Maybe tonight, boys and girls, we're going to keep exposing this. Okay, so Schiff getting grilled, grilling Bondi about preserving J6 evidence when the J6 committee actually did destroy evidence. We know that. That's a fact. Everything's lies and cover-ups. Okay. I love you guys. I'm exhausted. But late tonight, let's expose some California bullshit. How about that? Love you guys.